let us continue with our lesson. So what we have to do is now we need to add a layout error. We will be making use of our Android navigation component. So for that, let's have a look on the Android navigation component over here. If you go to this developer guide, you can see that we have a navigation. So we will be making use of a navigation component, which is a part of a Android architecture component for a Jetpack. So Jetpack has the library for all of the requirement for our navigation. So navigation refers to an interaction that allows user to navigate across or into and back out of different pieces of the content of your app. So whenever we go from one page or one activity to another activity, so we will be making use of this navigation. So you can just go through all of this and what we will do is we just see how to get started. So let's go to the navigation component, get started with the navigation component, and we need to add some dependency over here. So for that, what we will do is we'll just copy this Kotlin dependency. Just go back to our project over here, and let's go to the build.gradle, and over here I will just add the navigation component. And next is let me add the link, so it will be easy for you to navigate if you need to go back and check the documentation. So that's a good practice that we add a developer guide. So if you want, just instead of going and searching, you can just go to direct link and find the documentation about it. And we need to add the version. So for that, let's go and check the version. The version is the nav version is this one. So just copy this one, and let's go back to the project over here, and in the build that Gradle, in the top level Gradle build, I will just add the version over here. So it's the nav version. So just synchronize it. That should work perfectly. We have added over here, and let's wait for the Gradle build to complete. And for that time, let's go back to our main activity over here, and we just need to implement our navigation. So I think that's added already, so let me close that one, and let's go and add first of all we need one directory over here, navigation. If you go over here and just click on new and Android resource directory, and from here we can select navigation. So just click on navigation, and the directory name is of navigation. Just click on OK. So inside this navigation, we will be adding our navigation. So just click on right click and create a navigation resource, and we can just call it as navigation underscore base. So this is our base navigation from where we'll be managing all of our navigation. Just click on OK. So that will create a one-off file for us, and here we need to configure like this is a place from where we will be managing all of our navigation. So this is a place, if you haven't used the navigation before, this will be the place from where we'll be maintaining all of our navigation for our app. So before we can get started with this one, we need to add a navigation host fragment. So navigation host fragment, first of all we need to add it, and after that we need to add a graph. So first we need to configure and we need to have a host that will be hosting all of our navigation, and second is a graph. So let's go back to our main activity over here, and we need to add a nav host fragment over here. So if you just go and search for a nav host fragment, so you can search from here, and nav, I can just see the nav host fragment. So I'll just drag it to my layout over here, and you can see it can automatically detect the base navigation. So the navigation that we are going to use, so it's the base navigation that we just created is already over here. Just click on OK, and yeah, so we have successfully added that one, and just add a constraint, just make it 0 everywhere. So that should be fine. So we have a constraint over here, and that should look fine. We go over here, and the nav host fragment, we have and it's a fragment. And if you go to the navigation base, now you should have a fragments. The host is the main activity, is the our host. So the main activity will be hosting all of our fragment. So if you are a bit confused over here, it's nothing to get confused. It's a fragment that we were added, which is comes from our navigation. If you go and check on a text over here, it's come from the Android X navigation fragment, which is a nav-host fragment. So this will be maintaining of all of our fragment, and that is added in our navigation base over here, the host. So host is a master that will be hosting all of our fragment. So if you just click on the plus sign, then you can add the other layout that we can want to add, but currently we are not interested on all of this. We need to add for our like a home, tags, and also a profile. So that should be fine. And why is it selling center replace with the tag fragment center content view? Just try to fix it. Okay, so we have that. And let me try to constrain it properly. I think we have not constrained it properly. It should be over here. And for the top one also, let me try to constrain it properly. Okay, so height is the match constraint, width, and also height should be of a match constraint. So let's try to fix this one. Okay, so that should be fine. So now we have a navigation host fragment, and the next step is to add our graph. So how to add a graph is, first of all, we have to create a, so let's go over here in the view, and in the UI we have auth and main. Let's create a new package for our, let's say this is a home, and we need some more for our, let's create another package, home, and we have a tags, right? And we also have need to have for a package for our profile. So let's add a home first. So let's add a fragment. We'll be making use of fragment because we need to add to our navigation component. So let's say a blank fragment, or you can also add with the view model. So let's add with a view model because we'll be using a view model. So remove the fragment and call it as a home fragment, and we have a home fragment model that's created. Let's click on OK. So we have a fragment as well as a view model fragment. So we have a two already. And next, let us add for our profile. So let's go and add a new fragment, and let's call it as a, sorry, we need to add with a fragment with a view model. So we just change the name as a profile. Let's click on finished, and let's add a final one for our one, and that should be of a fragment with a view model, and we'll select this one as a let's say as a tags fragment. Okay, just click on finished. So that should be fine. So we have added a lot of fragment. Let me close all of this for now, and let me try to open it one by one. So I'm interested on home, and another one is of a profile and a tags. So if we go to the layout, so we should have a layout for our home. Where is that? Home is over here, and this text, let's change it to home, and we should get a home. For now, we're just changing the text. Later we will remove it, just for to make sure that whenever we are navigating, we are getting the correct fragment. So this should be of a profile. So instead of a home, let's change the text to a profile. So where's that text? and okay, the text is, yeah, the text is in the home, the home fragment. Sorry for that issue. Let's go to the tags. So let's change the text of a task. So navigation at tasks, and the third one is a profile. So let's go and select our profile, and the profile, let's change the text as a profile. And if you go back to the navigation base, now we can add our, let's add the destination. So it may take a bit time to load our home fragment. The home fragment is starter. Let's add the another one, which is of our tasks, and the third one, let's add of our profile. So where is that profile? So profile activity, and we have this is our starting point. So the home fragment will be starting point, and let's try to make a link. So from here we'll go to, let's try to draw a graph. So this is the way that we draw a graph from one activity to another. So whenever we are going from here, start, this is our home fragment will start, this is our tasks, and this is our profile. So this is, we have added a navigation base, and we also have created the graph. And why is our host missing? If you go back to the main activity, why is that host is missing? Why is that missing? So over here, and that should be not of a fragment view. I think it should be of a fragment. So we just call it as a fragment. So I think there is some bug with that one. If you go to now base, it will show. But if you replace that one with a current one, that current one was the Android X fragment app, that fragment container view, that doesn't work. So we just have to change it to the fragment. So actually we are able to see it over here. So I think that's all for this lesson. We'll continue. It's already quite long for this video. So let's meet up in the next lecture and we'll continue with it. So I'll see you in the next video. Till then, have a great day.